What's going on, everyone? This is going to be one of those like Saved by the Bell episodes where it's like doing the recap and time out. Could you believe that then we went to max and time in? So we're going to do one of those. So we're just going to recap everything, summarization of it, so I can go back to making a fuck ton of money and not worrying about any of this bullshit. So Tiffany Mi Young Wang told a bunch of people. Tiffany Mi Young Wen, whose real name is Stephanie, told a bunch of people like a year or two ago all this shit about me and that she likes me and that I met her at some party in 2018 that was like a fancy party. And then she's been stalking me for like forever, 6 years, give or take. I'm gonna count the last year as stalking still because she's being a cunt about it. And whatever. So then when Forever One came out, she had to literally tell me Forever One came out because I don't give a shit about K-pop. And she basically started yelling at me because she wants me to believe that she likes me. Then um, the pandemic shit started ending, so I started like getting out of all the bullshit I was in, and she got mad. She was like, "You can't do that. You're too successful." Blah blah blah. And then she kept trying to get me to invest in her stupid bullshit, and I kept telling her how it was wrong and how she was probably getting tricked. And then she tried to steal my information and give it to some losers at some blockchain conference, which is when I made that thingy about how she like went for the gun in my holster and all that bullshit. And honestly, that's when I had the idea. That's when I just decided whatever the fuck she was involved in, I was gonna put it to an end for the greater good of humanity, because she's obviously a Jezebel. So then I waited for her to try it again, and she did with that stupid crypto exchange, and they're still giving me updates, and they'll let me know. Probably Tiffany is shitting bricks right now, trying to figure out what she can do to not go to jail, or whoever the fuck's behind it. And then she stole a bunch of money, trying to get me to sign a contract saying she would loan that back to me, but I would owe her twice as much. Ran to film a bunch of TV shows with dudes. Then she told me she was going to be back to explain everything. And instead of doing that, I'm pretty sure that because I started yelling at her and got the feds involved, she decided to kick it up a notch and hurry things up. So then she went to go whore around with those losers in the studios, and I know there's something else going on because these posers around the same time, it's like, why don't more people watch WNBA? They need to have more rights for women. Stupid cuck. Then, then she tried to hide it from me, and it wasn't until I wasn't even hitting on. I was just playing around with Denisha Carter. Look, come on. I gave that bitch a minuscule of attention a year or two ago, and she opened up an entire company called Ethical Wealth. I told you the sisters have a thing for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Just, I don't have to do anything. The sisters just like me. I totally would give Denisha Carter a throw if she didn't hang out with so many douchey losers and think that begging for money online was a job. It's not. All right. Also, I don't want to like film videos this close to the camera and all that bullshit. And I would make fun of Brett Cooper. I always call her Brett Carter. Like, it's a different camera angle. But I don't have the energy this early in the morning without coffee to do all that bullshit. But like, when I say shit like American minorities piss me off, this is what I mean is like, look, Denisha Carter, that bitch is black as midnight, but she acts white as Cool Whip. You know what I'm talking about. That bitch, if you went just by the way she talks and just by the way she acts, you would think that bitch is white. You would think that bitch is incredibly white. Now let me tell you a secret. That's because back in the day, you didn't call that acting white. You call that acting with class. Plenty of white folks act with no class. Plenty of them. And for some reason we call that trailer park or whatever the fuck or honky tonk. That's still ghetto. That's still ghetto as shit. Ghetto doesn't mean any particular race. It means just a bunch of people acting stupid in one area. Okay? Anyways, I just wanted to clear that up. But so this stupid whore, Tiffany, stole a bunch of money, went to go collaborate with a bunch of losers, knowing that would piss me off. And she tried to pull a power play, saying I had to let her do it because she's pretty. And she tried to say I had to let her do it because some other shit. She made me mad. And now she's really trying to play into the whole soulmate thing because it's the only card she has left. I don't give a shit. Your music sucks. Again, it would be one thing. Like, it seems to me like she was trying to surprise me. Like I I really don't think it was like something like sketch. I think she's just stupid. But let me explain to you why to me it's stupid, okay? It seems like to me she was like, fuck. The guy that I met years ago who was making 75K, because she makes like what, 60K doing all this bullshit, and she probably gets bonuses for her promotions. Like she probably made a fuck ton of money off of Forever One, and she hasn't made that kind of money in like 10 years, probably, right? So she got a little big for her britches. And but like back when she was doing like over on top of whatever, I don't care what these names are. Um, back when she started doing her solo shit, she was probably making like 50K a year. So when I was making 75K a year, that probably meant like a lot to her because she probably was like, "Wow, I could double my money and then have some left over for my hair." Is probably what she was thinking, right? So then she does all this bullshit, collaborating bullshit, and she's like, "Surprise! It's me, Tiffany. I'm Tiffany Stephanie." And I'm like, "Huh? I'm making 300 right now. You're still only making like 50? Well, if I collaborate, I can make so much more. Like what? Like 90?" Okay, let's look at the people you want to collaborate with, or you already did, you stupid whore. One of them is a wannabe producer who's not famous in America, knows they're not famous in America, spends no time in America. Why the fuck would you think that would appeal to Americans? If any of that shit appealed to Americans, it wouldn't be on K-pop shit now, would it? Okay. Okay. So your big breakout plan is to use an American that Americans don't like. I see a problem with that. I'm gonna call that a flaw in character judgment. We call that a flaw in planning. Just call that a flaw, okay? The next one, wannabe gangsta hardcore producer guy. Bunch of albums, whatever the fuck, hanging on a wall. And there's this little picture. I got a golden ticket. Got a golden ticket. I'm going to Willy Wonka's. Okay, back in the day, if you had your name on an album and it went gold or platinum, you were the man. That's not your name. That's you and that guy 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 and that guy, and they all got paid a fuck ton more than you. That's why you live with your family members and all that bullshit and have to rent things, which I don't really give a fuck about. I actually feel bad for you all being in that position. What I'm saying is that's got nothing to do with me. Because while you all were making handshake deals and networking and collaborating and dreaming, I was studying, I was planning, I was preparing, I was interviewing, doing my resume and all that bullshit. So that $300,000, 100,000 of which Tiffany stole, that's mine. I earned it. You didn't earn shit. You earned, the cow says moo, the cow says moo. Da, 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 this is the song I sing, this is the song I sing, so everyone else can make money. That's what you earned. You earned $1,000 a month on Spotify, not even 80% of which goes to everyone else. That's what you earned. You earned getting passed around from studio to studio, from poser to poser, because you're a 35-year-old, washed up, hit the wall, gangsta wannabe producer whore. That's what you get. That's what you earned. That's what you spent the past 10, 15 years preparing for yourself. I spent the past 10, 15 years preparing $300,000 a year so I can do whatever the fuck I want to it. I can, if this, this stupid whore really thought that was a lot of money. You're old. You're so old. Tiffany Young is old. Have a nice day, everybody. And her music really does suck.